And so if we went back to 2024 under the same circumstance, I would have supported him. Let us present a certain vice president, Northern Muslim, who had paid his dues. So we're all for him. I'm sure Kwaku Katim, who you interviewed, was also for him.
Yeah.
So then we went into the elections. Now, let me take Bawumia out of the equation, the NPP. Following the elections, I looked at the scorecard. The scorecard, okay? So you do an exam. So, okay, regional scorecard, 3/16. 3/18.
That's an F9.
18.75%. Now, we don't do regional elections here, so yeah, that can pass. Parliamentary elections, 88/276, 32%. Then the presidential elections, 41.7%, 41.7/100. So that's how I sat back and I looked at.
That's how you blocked it.
Yes, so I looked at it. So this is the performance. That's why I said that's the NPP's performance. Now there were parliamentary candidates. We won 88. 188 parliamentary candidates lost. There are some of them, if we repeat them, we'll lose again. Some of them too can come back and reclaim the seats. So you also look at that one, constituency by constituency. And we all know, I won't mention this, but there are some of them, I know that if they run again, they will lose the parliamentary elections. So I looked at the 5 candidates, and I'm saying that, okay, based on this performance, the rejection by Ghanaians, if we want to give ourselves an opportunity in 2028, of the 5, who best gives the NPP a chance?
The one who was tried and tested.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Some people might argue that based on this performance, he should be repeated. But when I also look at the number and I analyze data, I interpret same. There was only one region where our votes appreciated, albeit by just 12,000 in the northeast region. Central, Ahafo, Bono, Western, these were our strongholds. We lost all of them. And now that we are apologizing for our actions, they might forgive us, but will they forget? Okay? So for me, based on the data that I've analyzed, I think Agyapong gives the NPP the best. And what he's saying resonates with me.
I'll come back so you explain more why what he says resonates. But just a few things to mop up what you've said. A Muslim ticket, a northern ticket, a sitting vice president. At the time, you believe that that was the candidate to go with in 2024. If you don't go for him now, the history of the NPP and the question that you said NPP ought to answer whether or not it's a national party or a party that likes North would still not be answered. And then it will mean that in 2028...
That question is not supposed to be answered by the NPP. It's supposed to be answered by the...
Yeah, but it means that you're going back and proving NPP as being a non-Muslim, non-Northern party.
The NPP gave the Muslim Northern sitting vice president a chance. It was for the Ghanaian people to now install him. So we have answered that question.
But what if his vehicle was bad? So the NPP possibly gave him a poison chalice and said he should drink of it. He drank and he died.
You see, so I don't do these personality things, you understand? So I say I've looked at the data, and based on the data, I'm convinced beyond every doubt. Then let me tell you, of all the 5 aspirants running, each and every one of them reached out to me soliciting my support. You understand? Mm-hmm. I guess most of them believe that this guy will take a back seat, analyze, and then make his choice. Each and every one of them called me. And when I had done all my analysis, I settled on this one. People have their choices. I don't begrudge them, okay? That's why I've told you that 2028, in the natural sequence of things, shouldn't have been an NPP win. It makes it an abnormal election, if you like. You need an unconventional candidate. And for me, that's kind of Agyapong. He's not my friend. This thing we do is not about friendship. He's not my friend.
He's not your friend?
I've never been to his house. Save the time that he called me that he wanted me, us to meet based on this. And we met at Moving Peak Hotel. That's it. You understand?
So
I want the NPP to win power.
There isn't a certain likeness you have for him or a business deal you have.
But the thing we are doing is not about likeness. It's about the ability to win the elections. It's not because that's my friend, and I think I'm even closer to Dr. Bawumia than Kennedy Agyapong. You understand?
So you don't feel like you're a traitor?
Traitor. It's about the NPP. It's about winning power. It's not about, if there are traitors, there are far bigger traitors who you can mention. I don't cozy up to people, you know, what it is that for favors, I don't do that. So that, let any one of them come out and say, they did this and this and this guy. No, that cannot be said of me. Do you understand? So I have convinced myself that as for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord.
You shall serve Kennedy.
Exactly.
But my question again still remains, Doc. If you looked at the data and the data was bad, did you also ask the data whether it was the driver or the bus that was bad?
You see, we have to delve into the data. Mm-hmm. I've looked at, for example, Greater Accra region, where Nana Akufo-Addo's 1.2 million votes in 2020
came from,
declined in 2024 to about 600 and something. Greater Accra. If one of the people who follow the issues most, they are the people in the Greater Accra region. Are they going to change with the same candidate? Western region and Central region. Central region, we lost about 250,000 votes. Western region, another about 200,000 votes. If Kennedy Agyapong comes from that area, I think he gives us a fair chance in the Western Central area.
Yeah, but the question you are not answering, and I'm going to repeat it one more time and hope that you'll give me an answer. It was the performance of the NPP that was put on the ballot paper in 2024.
Mm-hmm. Whose performance?
Not the NPP government led by Nana Akufo-Addo, not Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. He just happened to be. So imagine the race where they hold a poll and give to each other. I've forgotten what it's called, relay or something. I've forgotten the one they give touch and pass on. If the first guy who picked the baton did not get there early, you would be the last to pick the baton, and no matter how fast you ran.
So what is going to be the new message?
I don't know.
So I think let's fashion out a new candidate with a fresh new message. You know, if he comes and he also doesn't perform, we drop him.
Do you have time?
Once we are alive, we'll be going through these elections over and over.
But there are people who say that, listen, you have marketed this guy, you spent money to market him. Why do you have to leave someone you've marketed already?
But the data does not respond to that.
Just one election cycle? Is that fair?
The data. The NPP has never had more resources in an election than they did in the last one. I have been a parliamentary candidate twice. The amount of resources the parliamentary candidates got in the last election, it's never happened in the life of the NPP. Where are you going to get the resources now to give them? What
is your response to the story that Atamils went so many times? Kufuor went twice. John Mahama went, 4 times? Nana Akufo-Addo has been going since 97. And that Bawumia would also become president if you give him another chance like you've given other people. How many chances should we give? You just gave him 1. So Mahama did 4. Yes. Mahama has done 4 elections. He's won 2. Akufo-Addo did 3. He won 1. Atamils did 3. So are we giving him this chance and another, or what? Or just one more chance? He makes it for us. I don't know. I'm just saying that. So I want to know what your response is. I'm not looking at chance. I want to win the elections in 2028. Yes, but the people who win will say. But when we go by this one had 4 and this one had 3, it means that should we be going and going and going and going? I'm saying that if Kennedy Agyapong runs and he doesn't win, then people should drop him the next time. Okay, let's talk about the Kennedy Agyapong that you say you are not friends. So what about him and not Kwabena Agyapong, not Educhum, not Dr. Brian Agyapong, who is from your region? Why not them? So what he's saying resonates with me. I am hazarding a guess that the next elections will be run on jobs and galamsey. Okay. That is what I am saying. And he's been talking about this. He's laying emphasis on agriculture and agro-processing. Even in the primaries,
You see, he's passionate about it. And the things he says are pragmatic. If you answer, it's not the textbook suit wearing. I identify with that. Because I see the teeming unemployed youth on the streets. And how are we able to transition into a new phase in our economy where now we create jobs from what he's saying? I'm not talking about what he has created on his own, but what he's talking about, okay? The last election, if you pigeonhole the NPP, they would have said, oh, we're talking about digitalization, okay? So somebody's talking about industrialization, agro-processing, and all that. That's fine. I see that he's honest. And he has some discipline. Let me tell you, of all the people the NDC could put up for president, and all the 5 people the NPP have put up running, if there's one person who can tell Ghanaians that he will stop Galamsey and they will believe, it's Agyapong.
Why?
Because the Ghanaian people see that discipline. If Kennedy says that he's going to curb Galamsey, the Galamseyers themselves will tell themselves, that if this guy comes, we can't do it again.
What if it's just muff? You can't.
That's why I'm saying I have seen the discipline in him. He doesn't tolerate nonsense.
It's easier said than done, Doc.
Well, he's been MP for 6 times, isn't it? He's been around. It's not that he's just come on the scene and then he's just...
he has never held a ministerial position.
You don't need that one.
Where we will see his competence at work.
Let me tell you, the MP position is a bigger one than the ministerial position.
Yes, but you don't manage people.
You have directors. Everybody who has been in government in this NPP, I know. There are people sitting down and people are writing things for them. They are reading speeches. What are they managing?
What I'm saying is that if you have been a minister before...
Listen, the president can decide, Mahama can decide to make Lodina a minister and make his brother Ibrahim a minister. As for being a minister in our scheme of things, it doesn't mean anything. If you are made a minister, so you are what?
No, if you are made a minister, we see government policy, we see how you drive that policy, we see the fruits that come from that work. Then we can say that when this guy was there, we can even check what time do the workers in that office report to work.
That's not a minister.
They could a minister goes to a ministry and there are reforms, and you know this. And
there are ministers who have underperformed, and the presidents have defended them.
Yes,
everybody says kick this person out. So
I'm saying that
the evaluation is done by a certain person. You think all these DCs around town, they are doing something? What I'm saying, they are political appointees.
Yeah, what I'm saying, Doc, is that if the president says you are working and you are not working, at the end of the day, your work will show, right?
Will show to who?
People, the ordinary people will see.
But they don't appoint and disappoint you.
No, I'm saying that now that Ken is going to an election,
yes,
if he had ever taken up a ministerial position or even a CEO position,
he was board chair.
Yeah, but not CEO. Board chair, of course, we do know, but you are not the direct person who is running an organization. You have been board chair. It doesn't make you the CEO.
That's why.
So my point is that he hasn't been tested in people management, in the public office, in policy generation and execution. How do you trust such a person who has never taken up any position, not a CEO, not a deputy minister, not a minister, not a DCE? You entrust that person with the presidency of the Republic of Ghana. Nana Akufo-Addo was minister. Akufo-Addo was minister.
Yeah, can I answer?
Mahama was deputy minister,
Can I answer?
Vice president. Yes.
I have not been a DCE.
Yes.
I have not been a deputy minister. I have not been a minister. I have not been a deputy CEO. I have not been a CEO. But you said you trust my judgment.
Yes.
So that answers
because you are book long. You are economist.
It is the book long people that we don't even need. It's the book long people. The suits wearing, those are the people we don't even need.
So I'm mistaken in my judgment.
Yes.
I'm not mistaken in the fact
don't think that when you elect a president, he alone is sitting somewhere and decide. There are so many things happening today. Mahama doesn't know a thing about it. You put together a team, a government, to help you govern.
Okay. You said I'm mistaken, but there's one thing I'm not mistaken, is that it's time to take a break. And when we come back, I'm going to ask the question of the character of the man that Dr. Assibey Yeboah supports. How do you deal with that? And if he becomes president, how can you manage him? You said you want someone who disrupts the system. Should the system really be disrupted? Please stay. You're welcome back. This face-to-face on ChannelOne television. Dr. Assibey Yeboah. So you're saying that in the future, if history is being recounted, it would be said that you wanted Kennedy Agyapong to be president of this country. Whether or not he wins is a different matter. I'm just saying that if we're looking at history, I mean, one day, that's what we would see. The character of Kennedy is something that you would see on the internet if you were to Google. Just Google Kennedy Agyapong character. I don't know. So a lot of things may pop up. How do you deal with that person whom you cannot control? You said that he cannot be controlled.
I didn't say he cannot be controlled.
You said that he is feared by the Galamseyers,
yes,
that he would make sure he does what he wants to be doing. So it means that whatever, Osia or your, right?
Yeah.
Such a person, how do you, because he's in a system, and we know that our governments are an establishment that you have to be a part of. If he decides to go rogue, how do you deal with him?
I have seen him in controlled mode.
Okay.
In the last few months to 1 year.
Was it artificial?
Yeah, but then it means he can be controlled, isn't it?
Because he's looking for something?
Well,
power. So and he gets it and then he shows us where power lies.
Once he gets it, he has to hold on to it. So, yeah. So, he's put together a campaign council, and I've seen eminent people in there who counsel him, who talk to him, who draw up programs for him and advise him. And so I think it will be the same when I would rather have a Kennedy Agyapong who delivers, than someone who comes to do the same everyday politics that we've known over the years. And I'm telling you something, Kennedy Agyapong is a better man than Donald Trump.
Really?
Yes. I'm telling you, Kennedy Agyapong is a better man than that. And when Donald Trump had finished his first term, the Americans kicked him out after his first term. Yet, they had seen him at work as a president. But they went back to him that if this man is coming to restore our economy, we'll rather have him plus all his negatives. And this is the free world. So if Donald Trump can be president of the States and go and come back after 4 years, I'm fine with Kennedy Agyapong.
You said that he's not your friend. How regularly do you interact with him since you decided to be with him on this campaign trail?
So, they have been on the road. You have to do 276 constituencies, and then sometimes you go for months before you come into town.
So you are not part of the campaign trail?
The Chobo,
You don't go. But you have to appear on those places and show to the people that what being our economy, but you are supporting.
But that's why I'm here.
Okay, so but you don't. So you don't do the groundwork. So how regularly do you interact with him?
Yeah, that's why I said he has a campaign council of which I'm a member. So when he comes to town and time permits, we meet together with Dr. KK Sapon and Kweku Kwatin and all the people that fantastic people. They are all supporting Kennedy Agyapong. They believe in him. They think we can tame him. When he gets power, he'll put together a fantastic team and then deliver.
And this is not out of being aggrieved by the fact that you were, quote unquote, dumped by the Akufo-Addo administration, which Dr. Bawumia belonged to, in that you were removed from Parliament, and you also didn't become a minister.
But I started the interview by telling you that I supported Dr. Bawumia in 2024. Have you forgotten?
Yeah, but again, the question would be,
so
at the time he was establishment candidate.
Yeah, but
NPP, but now there's free will.
From your preamble, it didn't make sense for me to support him at the time. I had left Parliament since 2021. I was not part of the government. What would have been the attraction to an Akufo-Addo supported candidate at the time? I said at the time we had to answer a certain question in the NPP.
And that question you thought you had to
We've answered that one.
How do you think Kennedy Agyapong can create jobs for Ghana? For which reason you are supporting him?
But we've gone over this one. I told you that there's a focus on agriculture, industrialization, export-led growth, driven with the passion that he talks about these things. And he's already on his own doing a lot in terms of lands he's acquiring for ethanol and all of these things. I don't want to rely on his personal things, but the blueprint that he's shared, that we've discussed, that is what.
In 2023, when Dr. Bawumia was campaigning, NDC people said to become flag bearer. NPP people said if Dr. Bawumia was elected, NDC, all they needed to do, and in fact, some of NPP people said that all NDC needed to do was to buy megaphones and speakers and hire a DJ and give Dr. Bawumia's voice or soundbite to them to be playing, and that's enough campaign. The same thing can be said of Agyapong, that the NDC can simply go and get a DJ with big speakers and let them start playing voices from Agyapong. Voices such as NPP for Jimmy, those kind of things that he used to say. So would that not come back to haunt the candidate?
So the megaphones they use to play those voices of Dr. Bawumia in 2024, are they bad from repeating same in 2028?
No, maybe people have heard they are tired now, but Kennedy will be new.
But some of these Kennedy things, this is not the first time he's running for president, don't you know?
Yes.
He ran in the primaries,
yes,
and the same things were said of him.
Yes, but he didn't win. You see, if you become the face of the party, then there will be a deliberate effort to damage you by the opposition.
Every Ghanaian knows Kennedy's stance and his utterances. They were in the past. I think his mood. Last time I saw him in a charismatic something, I say, hey, this man has really, you know, I didn't go to that. There's a video,
and Bawumia people have showed video of him insulting people who go to church.
Yeah,
and yet he goes to organize a church service at UPSA. That is an inconsistent character. And you are supporting inconsistency.
No, the same things that you have said of other candidates. The positions people take over time, they play in the NDC. In the NDC. There would be videos of what people have said.
Yeah, but that's politics of convenience. You shouldn't be supporting that.
No. You should even applaud me for supporting Agyapong that this man has a mind of his own. He doesn't think that this thing will work.
Yeah, but if he thought, for instance, that going to church was a waste of time and there's a video...
But you don't go to church. So if somebody also says that going to church is blah, 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 yeah, that's his opinion.
No, I'm saying that, but if he says that going to church was a waste of time and then you organize a mega church service, then you will be questioned. If I don't believe that eating pork is good as a Muslim, and I organize a pork festival.
But if you didn't believe that 10 years ago and now you've seen that it's a delicacy and now you want to eat, what's wrong with that?
Or now because I've seen that I'll get votes from it, so I'm now...
The last time with all the things you are saying, he got 37% in the NPP. With all the things that people are highlighting and the noise they are making, he got 37%.
What are the numbers saying to you now? What percentage do you estimate he would get?
I want a win. Agyapong.
Are you confident that he will win?
I won't put myself to this if I didn't believe in his candidature.
If he doesn't win, then what?
Please, I'm not one of those people that... the last time we didn't win, yes, NPP, in my lifetime, since I've lived in Ghana, I've tasted, I wouldn't say even taste, I've lived under, I've always been NPP, but I've seen NPP in power for only 8 years. That is under Akufo-Addo. Because when Akufo was president, I was not in Ghana. And even under Akufo-Addo's president, I was in opposition.
Yes, you were. I remember.
So what is it about me that you can't fry things in front of you? Yeah, they don't mean anything to me.
So you are down. You don't fear no fall.
He who is down. Me da from team.
So for you are there. If Ken wins, fine. If he doesn't win, too, it's up to him.
If any of the Bawumia wins, we'll support him. Will campaign for him. I was the chairman of his economic manifesto team.
Yes, I remember that.
If he calls me that, can you do this again for us? Why not? That's if he wins. Do you understand? I want the person who gives the NPP the best shot at 2028.
Whoever wins for you on 31st January, the issue of party unity comes up. Are you sure the party will be united around that person?
The NPP has always galvanized around their leader. This time, we have a longer period to do that. We'll have 3 years before the elections to then if you're MPP and you will not support whoever wins, what will you do? Even us, we didn't live to that distance. We stayed in MPP.
Dr. Mark Assibey Yeboah, former MP, member of the Kennedy Agyapong campaign team. Thank you so much for joining us on Primaries.
Thank you.
And wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I am Umar Sandamado. This has been Face to Face on Channel One Television.